Hey ladies, it's that time, isn't it? If you don't follow me on Instagram yet, please go and follow me on Instagram. If you do, then you know that daily I do Ask Me questions, and I try and help you guys as much as I can on your HA, period, training, female hormones, that kind of shit, as much as I can. And today I thought I'm going to do a Q&A on YouTube. It's about time really, isn't it? Right. Let me get your questions up. I'm going to keep this quite nice and brief if I can. But you know me, I do like to ramble. I'm going to remember to say it. If you don't mind, it would be great if you could like this video. And if you don't already, please subscribe to my channel. It just helps me get my message out and try and help as many girls as I can that have been through the same sort of shitty journey that I went into. Anyway, number one is, how do you know if you're eating enough? And does it matter what, e.g. more carbs or protein? Now, I think this does depend on your goal and what you're trying to do. So the first question is, how do you know if you're eating enough? Well, there's plenty of calorie calculators out there that will give you some kind of rough guide, but I do think they're quite broad still. So what I would go on, and this is so much easier said than done, is look at how you're feeling holistically. So I already know that if I've undereaten, then I'll have bad digestion, I'll be very moody, I'll have low energy, I will probably wake up in the night. That's the key one for me. I'll find that I start to like crave real like heavy foods. So like I'll really crave like pizza and burgers and like real chocolate, and I'll have like that big craving. So they're all kind of signs that you're probably under eating. And then signs that you're overeating, well, you might feel like a little bit sluggish, or yeah, you just might not feel as great, I guess. So I think go on how you're feeling. If you're feeling great, your workouts, if you're training are really strong, then keep doing what you're doing. And yeah, if you have any side effects in terms of like digestion or mood and stuff like that, then maybe look to increase it. And then the second half is like, does it matter what? Again, it depends what your goal is. If you're trying to get your period back, then we need a good amount of carbs, fats and protein. The like fitness world very much focuses on protein because it helps keep us fuller for longer. But if you're trying to get your period back, then try and have like a full balance. I think just a healthy lifestyle, right, is to have a full balance of that. And if you're trying to get your period back, to increase your carbohydrates a little bit more. We need to get our bodies to trust us again. How do you know you have HA and not something else stopping periods? So my first tip would be get straight to your doctor and get your blood tests done. So you can ask to get tests for PCOS, endometriosis, that kind of thing. You can request to have, well, in the UK anyway, because this is what I did, you can request to have certain tests done, blood tests and scans, that kind of thing, to rule out anything. I would say that I would really recommend going to see a professional like Reedy McGregor, because I found that actually my general doctor didn't know enough about what I was going through, and actually didn't know at all. I just kept getting told to come back in a few months, and they just thought because I was a healthy weight that I was healthy, basically, which it was only when I went to Reenie that she looked at my bloods properly and she was like, no. So yeah, go see a professional, get everything else ruled out, and get your blood test done, and then see someone like Reenie if you don't have any endo or PCOS or anything else more serious. How much exercise to do? How much exercise is too much / enough, and how did you exercise? Also intensity. Okay. So how much exercise is too much and enough? So I think the main thing here is looking at how you're feeling. You'll know what your recovery time is like. Are you like absolutely wiped out after a workout? Are you then wiped out for like a few days? Are your DOMs, so your delayed muscles, so like your achy muscles basically, is that ridiculous, lasting like really intensely for quite a few days after? Is your sleep disturbed? How's your digestion? All those sorts of things, like how's your mood, that sort of thing. So similar to the eating things, you can kind of test and see how much is too much exercise. Another thing as well is how like pumped do you feel? So exercise is a stress on the body, so how stressed do you feel on a day-to-day? That can help test it. I also think you can kind of see, right, in the sense of like, if you are maybe weightlifting 3 times a week, you're probably not going to be training like too much over what you should be. But if you're doing HIIT 7 days a week, I'd really not recommend that. So maybe look at your workout schedule. If you like, message me, like, it's fine, just message me and I can take a look over your workout schedule and I can just kind of give it a once over. But I think the main thing is, how do you feel? A lot of the time our bodies will be telling us, hey, you need to rest a little bit more. Then my exercise, how did you exercise, and also intensity? So I used to be a HIIT warrior. I think that's why I lost my period. I was going to the gym like twice a day and doing a shit ton of HIIT, which is really, really stressful on the body. Whereas now I weight train 3 times a week. I walk and I might get in a run every now and then. I love running so much, especially now I'm fueled for it. I love it even more because it's not a drag, it feels great. But I don't want to push myself too much, so I'm just focusing on like introducing a bit of strength work at the minute. Finding your true self and interest when coming out of exercise and food obsession. I'm going to do a full video about that, so we'll wait that one. Vegan while recovering. I'm an ethical vegan and would never change but want to recover from HA. Now, if you don't know, I'm a vegan and I actually went vegan, magpie, halfway through my recovery, and personally for me, I actually found it helped me. Now, this is just a disclaimer, again, this is just my journey, so everyone's different. But for me, I was scared of carbs and I was eating a shit ton of protein, like animal protein. And for me, going vegan meant it's really hard to have a low carb diet on a vegan diet, because to eat anything, it kind of has to have carbs in, like legumes and beans, that kind of thing. So I actually found it helped me personally, but also there are so many different meat alternatives now as a way to increase your calories. So a lot of the time it's like I'm just eating meat anyway. Like, I'll have a spag bowl and sometimes I might do it with lentils, but most of the time I just use like the meat-free stuff now because it tastes so good. But if you are a vegan and you have HA, it's clear that there's still an energy deficit or like a stress situation going on there. I would definitely work with the professional with that. Rini is great for that. But maybe look at like the portion sizes of your food and also your everyday stress. So can you increase your food intake? Can you eat more high volume foods? Because that's one thing with vegans, is it's really, really easy for us to eat low calorie because it tends to be plants, right? So is there more like nuts and seeds and beans that you can increase, and oils? And then can you also increase your portion sizes potentially, but also look at the stress as a whole. If you're exercising, maybe try to reduce that intensity, that kind of thing. But yes, Rini is fab for stuff like that. Can stress alone be the reason for my HA? Yes, you don't have to be... So, sorry, the full question is, can stress alone, brackets, uni and stressing about the fact that my period is missing, be the reason for my HA? So yes, definitely. That's one thing that I've really found in research, that you don't have to be an athlete and you don't have to be exercise obsessed and you don't have to be dieting obsessed to lose your period. It's quite common that you might hear people in like the corporate world that are really stressed, or people at uni might lose their period every now and then, and HA is basically where there's too much stress in your body. So yes, 100%. I would just really focus on holistically trying to increase your self-care and reduce your stress. But again, having said that, if you are feeling like you're really struggling, then definitely reach out to a professional, because they'll help you in so many more ways than just getting your period back. Have I ever experienced nausea when maybe expecting your period? Maybe. I might have done, actually. Yeah, I think the problem with like getting your period back and PMS is there's like so many different symptoms, isn't there? That like a lot of the symptoms are also potentially like bad symptoms, or like pregnancy symptoms, which was like a big scare. Do you know what I mean? So I definitely had hot flushes more than I had like nausea or something like that. Christ, I was like sweating like a pig. Ugh. Is weight gain always the only way for HA, and how do you know it's definitely HA? So I've kind of answered this, but if you know it's HA, that would be because your blood work is a little bit funky. You'll have, I'll try and do a video about it and do a bit more research into it, but it's, yeah, where your hormones are a little bit messed up. And is weight gain always the only way for HA? I don't think so, but it depends obviously what your weight is and where your body prefers to be sat. I personally, when I was 14, I was naturally a size 10 anyway, and so it was coming to terms with the fact that if I was a size 14, sorry, when I was 14, if I was a size 10 then, why at like 24 would I be any different? And I was really active 14-year-old. I had a horse and played netball and stuff, so yeah, it's kind of like, why would I be any different now? So I think a lot of it is like looking at what your natural set weight is and where your body would rather sit at and how far you are away from that. But just because you have to gain weight doesn't mean that it has to just be what some people are often scared of. I actually prefer my body now. I've got a lot more muscle mass, I've got a lot more curves, that yes, I have technically gained weight, I don't know how much, and I've technically gone up a dress size, but my body composition is so, I personally prefer it so much more. So even though you might have to gain weight, you actually might gain such a nicer, more comfortable body composition if that's something you are scared of. And I'm going to do one more. Focusing on macros versus calories when HA, specifically before morning training. So I'm guessing that's like, which one do we focus on? So you always need to make sure that you are getting enough calories in, especially if you're still training with HA. We need to be able to trust our bodies. So if you're not fueling yourself enough, that's stress on the body. Your body will look for fuel elsewhere, which is quite a stressful situation for it. So making sure, like, definitely make sure that you're having enough calories. But if it's around morning training, then obviously have a good substantial amount, but don't have too much that's going to make you feel sick. But you want to get carbohydrate source in there, especially if you think you've been asleep since like 10, say, and then you get up, there's like an 8-hour fasted window there, and then if you're going to go straight into a workout that's even longer without food, and then exercise is a stress on the body. So, and in the mornings our cortisol is at its highest, so you want to try and keep the body nice and relaxed. So give it something, whether it's like a slice of toast or something like that. Give the body the energy source that it would rather have, which is carbohydrates. So yeah, before morning training, always eat to help with HA, and have a carbohydrate source as well. That's my Q&A done. I'm sure I might try and I might try and do these a little bit more regular, maybe like once a month or something. I don't know, who knows? But yeah, there we go. That's my Q&A. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. All details of where you can come find me are down below, and details to Rini as well, which is the professional that I worked with to help get my period back. And bye, love you, bye.